Take 15 of Manhood Academy podcasting. Now that everybody's fallen asleep, we're officially starting. We're on podcasting topics. We're welcoming back Boggles. Boggles, it's been a week since we've heard from you.
He's doing something.
He's gone. Tim Will, you had a long week. What's been going on?
We're still not here.
A lot of things been happening at work. Mistake after mistake after mistake.
Mistake after mistake. Are you about to get fired?
No, but that's what I'm afraid of.
Oh, your job's on the line?
Not that I know of. I mean, the boss never told me that, I was on notice or anything like that.
No official write-ups?
Right.
So just the mistakes that you know of and the boss knows of?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you're kind of
happening recently.
Right.
Are they like accidents, or were you being an idiot at work?
Were you in charge of operating the Hadron Collider and you accidentally pushed the on button?
Oh, God, no.
You split the wrong atom, Tim Will. You're fired.
I think if I split the wrong atom, none of us would be here now.
You melted down the East Coast. What do you have to say for yourself?
Hey, if I want to keep my job, I gotta pay more attention to detail.
Okay. Well, sounds like something good. Sounds like a good lesson. Boggles.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a week since we've seen you. What happened since then?
I went to a ski trip with A-Team and his brother and a couple of his friends.
Oh, sick. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. I wrote an expression post about it.
Any fights?
I was kind of going to get into an argument with A-Team's brother and his friend. But then...
While you were skiing or on the way up?
While I was driving them back from a bar.
Boggles, I don't understand. How can you ski in California?
Oh, you can do everything in California.
They got mountains about an hour away with snow on them.
Snow and shit?
With snow on them.
Yeah. They're nothing compared to my
Real
mountain.
snow or fake snow?
Real snow.
Real snow.
I'm impressed.
Boggles, you look like you've been drunk.
Just end of the day.
So what happened? You got in a fight with these guys?
No, I kind of got into an argument, like a small argument, while I was driving back. Basically, A-Team didn't want me to bring up. These guys were curious. They saw me in action, at the bar.
In action? What do you mean in action?
They saw me talking to girls.
Oh, in action with the ladies.
Yeah. So
Sick. With the beard?
Yeah, with the beard.
With the beard, okay. So you're saying, what's up, ladies?
Yeah, so I got a number from this one girl, talked to a few girls there,
And they're like, who the fuck does this guy think he is showing action on our ski trip? Who does he think he is?
Huh?
Who does this guy think he is? Trying to do some action. He's one of these Manhood Academy students.
Well, they were curious, and I wanted to introduce it to them because I liked the guy. Like, I liked A-Team's brother. He's a pretty cool guy, very talkative. Only problem is he's a mangina. His perspective needs to be fixed. But A-Team was very hesitant to introduce it to his brother.
Right.
But you can say it's something that you do. You don't have to say that A-Team is in with you with this.
Well, A-Team's worried he'll find out that he's on here.
Right. So you got to keep it
I
hush-hush.
wanted to actually, talk to A-Team and tell him, hey, let's get through the pain now. Introduce your brother and his friend to it. Get it done.
You should have just told them, hey, you're not affiliated with Manhood Academy. You're just a professional pickup artist like Mystery.
Oh yeah, they mistook me for a PUA, but I said no. I'm
This guy's a PUA trainer. Look at him in action.
So and then so I was like, they was like very curious, like, we want to know more. I was like, okay, well, I can't explain it in a car drive. There's a lot that goes with it. But then A-Team said, no, Boggles, I don't want you to tell them. I was like, all right, it's A-Team's call, so I'm not gonna get it.
He said that out loud.
Pardon?
He said that out loud.
Who, A-Team?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said don't get into it. Like, you don't have to answer all their questions.
Oh, he didn't say don't tell them about it. He just said you don't have to answer their questions.
Secret thing.
Well,
Yeah. Did he say don't tell them about the
decided-
secret thing we're in that you're going to ask me for later? Now that I told you it's a big secret, or did he just say you don't have to answer their questions?
Well, because the problem is, they're both like, he and his friend Amanda, like, it was kind of going into a debate because definitely our views are going to clash. And I had to basically answer A-Team's brother and his friend's questions at the same time, and it was kind of turning into an argument a little.
What were they arguing about? How many boxes of chocolates you should bring on a first date?
No, like, how did it start? Like, they were curious to know. Well, I was like, well, you can't put chicks on a pedestal and stuff. It kind of started with them there, and it kept going. They were asking more questions, arguing, well, what about this? What about that?
Yeah, like give me an example.
Well, they saw me. Okay, first of all, this is how it started. I started talking to I actually had 18's brother talk to some of the guys on Skype, on Manhood, some of the Manhood bros.
Right.
And then that guy got an idea. He went on a chat roulette and he found a girl from Ukraine. And I started talking to this girl in Ukraine. I conveyed my reaction. I told her how cute I want to take care. Then I started punishing. And all these guys were all amazed. They're like, wow.
What the fuck is this guy think he's doing?
Yeah. So, and that's how it started. And I was like, dude, yeah, you can't put girls on a pedestal. You kind of have to put them and keep them in line. And it's like, so that's how it started. And in the car, I think I said something like, yeah, back in the days you could just backhand them or something. And 18's brother, he's in Angina. He's like, whoa. I mean,
bro.
I kind of
what the fuck, bro?
What?
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, and I kind of do that with Mandanas to test, to see where they're at, and clearly he was like, that's how it started, and he kept arguing, so are you saying a backhanding is enough to put a chick in place? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And that's kind of, I wasn't doing the best job in...
Yeah, bro, what are you saying? You beat a woman?
Yeah, and I think that's how it started, like, something, and then he started, and then I was like, you know what, none of us in this car really knows what we're doing,
How can she
started
slap?
The theories. The 18's brother's friend was like, I don't think that will work in all situations. Maybe, a girl has really low self-esteem, the usual nonsense. So it kind of started getting into a debate. I'm like, no, none of us in the car completely know what we're doing, so I wouldn't trust this, that. And that's how it was going into a debate. And so initially me and 18 were actually arguing, 18's brother and his friend. But then 18 realized it's not going to go anywhere. So he said, Boggles, put an end to this now.
Yeah, I've been down that road many times.
And I was like, I'm going to side 18, like whatever he says. I'm not going to, bring it up. But once I dropped 18 and his brother off later, this white guy who was 18's brother's friend, he was still curious. He was like, dude, I'm still curious about your line of thought. So I was like, you know what? Okay.
Oh.
So I told him there's the Principles of Social Competence ebook. Go check it out. There's a forum, manhood101.com. Go, there's a professor there. You can ask him all the questions. Because this guy was like, is it scientific? Is it that? Is it this? And I was like, dude, you go check it out. And if you have any questions, come back to me later.
Sweet.
But I told him, don't tell 18's brother. 18.
Don't tell 18. Don't tell 18 that he'll hear it on the podcast later. Don't tell 18 that I'm announcing it for the entire class on the podcast right now.
And
you thought I was going to edit that part out, huh?
And I thought the right thing to do is to introduce it to this guy. At least now I feel comfortable kind of telling it to people,
Yes.
Because the next day, like once these guys, they were so happy when they saw me like hitting on chicks. They wanted me to talk to every girl. Hey, go talk to her.
Go talk to her. They're like the nerd clapping for you, living vicariously through your
So
penis.
next day after skiing, there was this cute girl who was wiping tables, and I don't know if she was from Brazil. I went and started talking to her, but then there was like a language problem. She didn't have a phone, whatever.
That's where you gotta use your hands. You don't even need to talk to foreign language chicks.
So you had a lack of experience, right? But at least I was very comfortable talking to her, getting good reactions. Then I did that. Then these guys, they started coming up with translations of how I could speak to her in Portuguese. So
you don't need the translations. You just use your little hand motions. You say,
I
I
said,
like
wow,
you with a little heart. Yeah, they like the stupid little body language things.
Yeah, see, that idea didn't strike. I didn't get that idea then because of lack of experience. Like now, I'll think of that if I come into that situation next time. So, and also, one of the guys, like I'm really bad at balance. I was falling off the skis a lot initially, and one guy really helped me. But this guy, I could tell he's very awkward with girls. So I'm like, since this guy helped me, I want to help him.
You're gonna help him. You're gonna help his life out.
Yeah, because he doesn't live too far from where I live, like 20 miles. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to introduce him to the book and the site and then hang out with him sometime.
Sweet. So you didn't snowboard, you went skiing.
Well, yeah, because skiing is easier than snowboarding. And since I've never skated or something, I have very bad balance. I was struggling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you'd do better on skis.
Oh, and the first, we went there Saturday and Sunday. Then Saturday, we screwed around. Like Friday night, we played beer pong till late in the night.
Beer pong? I can't imagine you played beer pong.
Oh, here's the thing.
Chocolate milk pong maybe, but I don't know about beer pong.
Pardon?
Chocolate milk pong.
Here's the thing. I played beer pong twice in the past, and I felt really uncomfortable because I'm like the only guy who doesn't drink. I'm like the nerd, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink, but I'm going to play. But this time, I thought it would be the same experience. But it was a smaller group, and I started talking and stuff, and people didn't care at a certain point. I drank a little, and I told 18, hey, I'm not going to drink. You drink my beer, I'm going to just throw. And I was throwing pretty well, so they didn't care.
It didn't matter.
Because you're sober.
And the next day when we played beer pong, I got a designator
Designated
There
drinker.
was an Asian guy there, and I told, hey, this guy's going to be my designated drinker. I'm going to just throw, this guy's going to drink.
Just lay
So I
down
was
the
like,
law.
no, you can get away with stuff if you kind of, make friends with people, and they're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool.
You can get away with stuff if you're cool, huh? Can you translate that into authorities or into academy speak?
Well, I think when they saw me, like, talking to girls and stuff everywhere late at night, just trying to, like, go
Jar, can you translate that into academy speak?
I think
Hey, Jar, can you translate that into academy
hold on,
speak?
I'll translate it. I think they're kind of valuing the social authority that I kind of gained. That they saw me, that I kind of gained.
Kinda?
With my fucked up sentence structures.
Kinda, sorta? Jar, you want to explain it in
my social authority.
Jar, you want to explain it in academy speak?
Are you asking
Me now?
Jar?
Yeah, you, Jar.
Okay, I think that Boggles provided great experience. I think that he was open, and I think that he was very direct and acting like a man should. So I think that came off and rubbed off on them. They kind of looked up to Boggles and saw him as a cool guy.
Yeah, we got
especially
that.
Boggles
We got that part, but I'm saying, can you put it in academy speak?
Oh, I was trying. That was kind of okay. So then
No, that was
Boggles
just
gave
describing
incentive
what was going on.
through-
I want you to apply ebook terms now. What are the concepts? Why
Right.
Why is Boggles such a cool bro and able to get away with playing beer pong without drinking?
Because Boggles gives incentive through sharing his experiences, and then he's able to get his expectations met because people are inclined to meet them. They want to please Boggles. They fear Boggles.
Yes. Hey, Zyger,
But
can you explain in academy terms why Boggles is able to get away with not drinking while playing beer pong?
obviously, once he's given people enough incentive, then they'll be afraid of his authority. Basically, they'll want to meet his expectations because they don't want to lose all that incentive he's giving them.
Yeah, Boggles is the man. He's
Incentive
established.
machine.
He's basically now the social authority. Like before, what's ruling them is the social authority rules for playing beer pong. Everybody knows you're supposed to drink at beer pong. That's the social authority rules. But social authority depends on what?
Everybody agreeing.
Yeah,
That's a little social group.
in order for social authority to work, everybody under the social authority has to agree to the social authority. Who isn't agreeing to the social authority, Tim Will?
Everyone.
Nope. Jar, who
Jar.
isn't agreeing to the social authority?
Boggles.
Boggles. Boggles is establishing himself as a higher power than the social authority. Boggles is basically resetting the social authority, and now he's the social authority. Boggles' personal authority just became the social authority. Here's how it works. Boggles established his authority. Everybody starts agreeing with Boggles having authority. Suddenly, once everybody starts agreeing that Boggles is in charge, that means what?
He sets the rules.
Yeah, so what's that mean? Boggles' personal authority becomes what?
The social authority.
The social authority.
Yeah, he becomes the social authority. The social authority means just what, Tim?
It basically
In relation to your personal authority, what's the social authority? It just means what?
just rules that your peers follow.
Zyger.
The social authority is the personal authority which is accepted by people.
Yeah, it's just
Basically,
if
once the
enough
authority
people,
is established,
if enough
it
people,
becomes social.
yes, if enough people accept your personal authority, that becomes the social authority. So if enough people accept Jar as the cool guy, when Jar says something, that goes. That becomes the law, the social law of the group. So now Jar is the social authority. If people don't think Jar's cool, then the social norms or the social authority that's already in place is what rules their behavior. So because Boggles comes in and he hasn't established himself as a cool guy yet, and then all of a sudden he's cool, and then the next time he plays beer pong, guess what? He already established his authority. Now he gets to call the shots. He gets to decide he doesn't have to drink because he's cool enough to do that. He has enough social authority to do that. Sick move, bro.
Thank you. And it was a small enough group, so I was able to, it was a great starting point to kind of experience something like
Well, I hope you get more experience with this so you'll start seeing that regardless of the group you're in, the same principles apply. And the more you see it, the more you realize what's happening, the easier it becomes to practice it.
that. Yes.
It becomes validating because now you see it happening, you know how to produce the effect. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I know how to do that. Here's what I do. And it happens again. Now I become competent because I have, first you start with kind of an understanding, oh, I did something, it seemed to have a positive result. Let me try it again. The more you practice it, the more it confirms that for you in your experience. And then you have the realization, oh, now it works anywhere I go. These people are the same people. They have the same needs as me. The social
Yeah.
authority, personal authority works the same.
Yeah, and next time I go to play beer pong, I'll have an expectation, like, I'm going to try this. Like, hey, I want a designated drinker for him.
Yes.
Right.
There you
Boggles,
go.
you always say that, you don't improve, but you've clearly improved since the beginning. Just this experience is a testament to that.
Yeah, gradually.
Well, I talked to the new guys translating the video, the Portuguese guys, Gordon and Spirit. I think they're both from one of the other Brazilian forums. They found out about the Academy, some of the videos, and they're translating Effects of Emasculation. They translated part 1, they're translating part 2 right now. And they currently have a theory that, what were they saying in the chat room? Let me see if it's still on the screen. Their theory is, in their mind, they don't have a clear understanding of authority, because in their mind, authority is like, let me see if it's still here. Authority is like, actually, you know what? Handy dandy feature is that I can go into the chat room archives and pull up the chat that we had, so I could read it verbatim.
So
Okay.
let's see what Boggle's been up to.
Yeah, let's see what Boggle's been up to. Always keep an eye on Boggles, like Big Brother. Alright, I gotta go back
1984.
one page. Oh, let's see here.
So
Can you guys all see my
YouTube
screen?
archive?
Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going down, 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 down. Alright. If they play with the libido if they wish, if such as one. Wait a second. Where was I starting to talk? Was I anywhere in there? Oh. Travos, thank you, guy. People over... Oh, it's before that. No wonder. Alright, so let's go to 37. Page 37. Oh, I like how Google translates this. I can actually...
Wow.
I couldn't figure out what they were saying while they were saying it because they're typing in Portuguese, but Google's translating it right now.
That is sweet.
Interesting.
Wow, that's awesome.
Now they're saying
Nice.
Professor Plum's an asshole. This academy is silly. What are we doing here? Let's sabotage it.
We are here only to undermine it from inside.
Yeah, we're here to undermine it. Okay, so it's back. I'm going to go back to 35. It's got to be real soon because I just had the conversation with him an hour ago. Can't be that far back. All right. Looks like the right place. Down at the bottom. Aha! This is like high school bowling. Wouldn't you know it? I choose every page but the page. It's on. Alright, here we go. Once girls decide, da-da-da. So they're translating the part where, about low creep, where it looks like an Indian guy, actually, invented a device to humiliate other guys who are asking girls out at dates at bars or clubs or whatever. She gives the guy her number. The guy calls it. Little does he know he's calling it an app, like an Android app, and that I guess starts his low creep profile. It's based off of a LoJack, I think it is, where you can tell where your car is at if it gets stolen.
Yeah.
So for some reason they call it low creep.
Jack on the call.
So they're keeping tabs on this guy, and then all of her girlfriends can message this guy, and she'll think it's him. I mean, she'll think it's her, the girl. What am I saying? All of her friends can message this guy, and this guy will think it's just her talking. And then when they think it's funny enough, then they can post it to their Tumblr and whatnot. So the goal is just to humiliate this guy. So this guy created an app to
I
humiliate.
went to that website and it just looks like it's down temporarily.
Yeah, it says they're developing the app, so who knows?
If I were the girl's friend, I would text her and be like, "Hey, I'm so horny, get in bed with me."
Yeah, but the point is they're trying to humiliate guys, and it's just pathetic.
Yeah.
These guys contributed to their own humiliation. As Zyger brought up an awesome point, he just said, no way would a girl be able to develop this app. And obviously guys are doing this to sabotage themselves. That's how sad these guys are.
Yeah, and it's gonna be bad because say like a guy goes talks to different girls, then they're like one girl who actually wants to go out with him will be like, "Oh wait, you're a low creep."
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about now. These guys are talking about authority. Let's see here. Yeah, but we believe. Okay, so this guy's telling us his beliefs about his forum's views on authority. Optimum level. Yeah, the system is just to humiliate guys that don't fit. Okay. Girls are ruled by social status. This is why all their revenge involves public humiliation. In other words, the loss of social status. And then Gordon says, that's what we debate in our forums. Guys like sex itself, girls like the status that sex with alpha males gives. Any guy who can wield authority is an alpha male. Alpha male is just a misnomer for a guy who is trained to exercise his authority. Gordon says, yes, but alpha for us is a guy with money or fame or is an asshole, meaning in female, this is what he means in a female point of view. Guy with money is economic authority, guy with social status, social authority, guy with fame, social authority, guy who's an asshole, only cares for his own expectations, he has personal authority. So once again, the only issue is authority. So I'm trying to show them how all these things translate back into authority. Spirit says, wow. Gordon says, yep, but we believe that if a girl meets a guy, which is better than you, she will dump you for that one. In authority aspects. Yeah, and then I respond, yeah, that's because you know nothing about how women think. Way better than you is the way a guy thinks without authority. This is the way emasculated males think. I said, better. They have no clue how authority works. If I have authority, I don't care where my girlfriend goes. She is coming back home to me. And then Gordon says, but that doesn't mean you have total control over her actions. Then me, ha ha ha, you have no idea how women work. That's what we debate, Gordon responds. Well, instead of debating, I have real-world experience. And then Gordon says, many guys have that too. What he doesn't realize is many guys have experience with girls, but they don't have experience exercising their authority. Those are two different things. Many guys have the first experience. Okay, so I try to put it in simple terms for him. I know the difference between a girl who loves someone for what they give them and a girl who loves someone for what they take away, or how a guy limits the girl. Many guys only have the first experience. So when he's talking about guys, a lot of guys have this experience with girls. They have experiences giving girls boxes of chocolates, saying, how can I make you happy? So they're getting a very little emotional investment from the girl. They're not the second type of guy who puts limits and restrictions on girls, who exercises actual authority over a girl to limit what she does. Those guys have a very different experience with girls. Okay, so he says, yes, I understand that perfectly, which obviously he doesn't. This is his delusional view. So go on. I'm not debating anything. I'm just explaining our point of view, blah, blah, blah. Our point of view is, even if you show dominance and prowess in every one of these areas, still you can be dumped if a girl meets another male that shows even more authority or economic assets. Again, this guy has no idea how authority works. When a girl is emotionally attached to you when you've been exercising her authority, it's like you have the key to her vagina. You have the key that opens it. So she's attached to you. It's not like somebody's just going to come along. A great guy, who exercises authority can come along. But once she's attached, she's attached. Once you have that emotional attachment, you can still be an authoritative guy, a different guy. Let's say Brad Pitt comes along. He has social authority. But once she's attached to me, my girlfriend's attached to me, that authority is pretty binding. It's going to take a very extreme event, like me cheating or me doing something, abusing her all of a sudden, or, doing something very drastic for that to change.
Wanting to abort her babies.
Wanting to abort her babies. No, I wouldn't say that even qualifies. You could probably even get away with that, Bogus. So, actually, I'm pretty sure you can get away with that, because I've gotten away with telling girls much worse. But if there's emotional attachment, it doesn't matter. So, like I said, it requires some pretty extreme measures, some pretty extreme actions for that bond to break, which this guy has no experience of. That's why he's even battling this nonsense.
So this is a problem, though, because he's translating the book. If he doesn't understand it, and you don't read it translated, how do you know that it's
well,
valid, what he's saying?
The thing is, he can translate it word for word, even if it's the correct way, but his understanding is what's wrong. It's not his translation that's wrong, it's how he's reading it.
So you're not worried that he's going to put maybe what he thinks into his translation?
I'm not really worried about that, because I think any translation is a plus in another language.
Better than nothing.
No. But the problem is not with... It's like the information's there in the ebook. It's just that a lot of guys misread the information they're getting, or they read their own. Their training. Put it this way: their training is more powerful than what they read or what they learn.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy can read something that's fully against what he's trained to think or how he's trained to behave. He'll just backwards rationalize it. He'll rationalize whatever information is contradictory to his way of life, to his perspective, to his behavior. He'll just backwards rationalize it to fit his view. What's that called, Zyger? Like confirmation bias?
He's gone.
He stepped out.
Yeah, something like confirmation bias, I think. I'm not sure.
Rationalization.
Yeah, something like that, where you rationalize the information you receive to make it fit your worldview. Like if you're conducting a science experiment and you think if you crash this car at 30 miles an hour, everybody's going to die, and you find new information out that fits that you could crash the car at only 10 miles an hour and everybody will die. Well, you'll alter the information to fit your view, just because you have that view so firmly held. So that's kind of what's going on here. I mean, he can read the information any way he wants, but his view of authority is already set in his head. That's why he needs somebody to correct him, to say, look, what the view you're holding is delusional, it's wrong. This is how it actually is. And then he has to have some actual practice. So he doesn't have any practice, so his view of authority is very superficial. Like, I remember an EM report from Principal Leotard, where he's talking about exercising authority. And you can kind of even see when guys are talking about authority, for instance, they'll talk about, in their EM reports, you'll especially see where they think they're exercising authority, they think they're punishing a girl. and really they're not doing any kind of punishment that's even significant.
I did that.
I'll give you I'll just, instead of giving you an example off of the top of my head, let's go straight to Leo's report, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see how guys misread what they're doing in their EM reports. That's why it's so important to post these EM reports to see where your actual problems are in your perspective, because these are driving how you try to get your expectations met. And if they're wrong, obviously you're not going to understand how to exercise your authority properly. Okay, so let's look at Principal Leotard here. Have you read the EM guidelines? Blah, blah, blah. Nice work, Principal. Okay, I think this might work. Okay, so let's see this EM report here. I come to Dasha, begin cleaning up my flat for New Year's, and see my girlfriend with her friends outside. So I yell at them from my window to come in. They say they will, but they all disappear somewhere. I call my girlfriend, and she tells me they're walking one of their friends home. This is not going to fly with me, because I like it when my woman gives me priority attention instead of her herd of sheep friends. Or she could alert me of what the fuck is going on. So Principal Leotard says, hey, baby, can you please just not follow that huge herd of girlfriends around all the time? I like to think that you want to see me as much as I want to see you, but you're with all these friends being led around, aimlessly ignoring the fact that I'm now here and you're leaving early tomorrow, stating my expectation.
Inappropriately justifying.
Yes, but completely missed it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, girlfriend says, stop calling me that. My girlfriends are super duper awesome, and they're so not a herd. She is punishing me by rejecting my expectation. She scolds me, okay?
Punishing by disagreeing, yeah.
Yeah. So Principal Leotard says, oh, come on, you need to stop getting so caught up and sensitive about that word. I like to see you more and always know where you are. And that should take priority over walking around with your girlfriends who wander around aimlessly like a herd. And he puts punishing her for rejecting my expectation and restating my expectation again.
Inappropriately justifying myself.
Is he punishing her?
He's rewarding her for bad behavior.
Oh, Bogler learns quick. Bogler's now the top student. What did you just say, Bogler?
Rewarding her bad behavior.
Yeah, he's giving her a high five. Thank you for disrespecting my authority. Thank you for not fearing my authority. Thank you for setting up your own authority over mine. Congratulations. Here's a reward. How do you know he's rewarding her, Tim Willie?
He's basically trying to explain himself to her.
Yep. What's that mean?
It means he doesn't have.
What does it mean when you're explaining? What are you doing?
You're justifying yourself.
Yes. In this case,
Inappropriate justification.
Right. In this case, it's inappropriate. Explanations are not wrong in and of themselves, but when are they wrong?
They're wrong when you. It's wrong when you haven't established yourself yet.
Established what?
It's wrong when she hasn't submitted to your authority yet.
Yes, when you haven't established your authority, she hasn't submitted to your authority. Exactly. So he's already, here's the explanation, here's why you shouldn't do that, honey, here's why you shouldn't do that, here's why you shouldn't do that. Is he punishing her, Zyga? With all these explanations?
Of course not.
Of course
Explanations are giving me rewards.
Zyger, of course not. The fuck, are you crazy? Zyger knows what's up. That's why I like a Zyger. He's already bored with this report because he's like, this guy's so ridiculous. Of course not.
Yep.
Girlfriend, okay, I understand now. Here she is submitting to my authority. Jar?
No.
But she says she understands. He explained it.
She's just saying that to shut him up.
Nice.
Just agree to shut him up. That's
Good
all.
one, Jar. I didn't think of that one.
Here she is submitting to my authority, or at least she says so.
Or at least she says so.
Yeah, at least she says so. Exactly. She's saying so. Me. Okay, honey, that's lovely. I love how you're always very compliant with me and don't argue. Let's see what actually happens now. Rewarding by complimenting her for agreeing to meet my expectation. Gives incentive to do the same in the future. Yes, Sir Boggles.
I would have been fooled by that when she said, "Oh, I understand now. I didn't catch on."
Yes, this is like you and the Indian girl. This is exactly what this reminds me of.
Now I can see that. Like initially, she was like, "Oh, okay," but she didn't really.
Okay,
actually...
I understand. And you think, "Oh, look, I'm establishing my authority. She likes me." She likes me a lot. No, wrong. She hates you. Okay, so that's just an example of reading the information in the ebook, but not having an understanding of what the information is talking about. So you can delude yourself, even after reading the ebook, and still come away with a bad exercise of your authority, or improper exercise of your authority. That's why
it's so important to do these EM reports.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just going to keep thinking that, oh, I understand, I got this right. If no one corrects you, and tells you like how delusional you are.
Yeah, you just read the ebook. A lot of guys think they don't want to put themselves out on a limb. They don't want to appear stupid. So they just think, you know what? I'm smarter than these other guys. I'm just going to read the ebook. I already learned the information. And now I'm just going to implement it. And eventually success will happen. I don't need to post any EM reports. But as you can see, even for a guy like Principal Leotard, who has some decent understanding of the ebook, still, in actual practice, lots of mistakes. Easy to make mistakes. That's why it's so important to post these so we see where the mistakes are. Thank you for posting this EM report, Principal Leotard. Oh, by the way, he became Principal Leotard because he thought he would teach the teachers, or he thought he would instruct the instructors at Manhood Academy. So we gave him
the
this.
no cap challenge, right?
No, not just that.
I forget. It was some other cause too.
Yeah.
So we gave him the label, the moniker, Principal Leotard.
Bad excuse spot.
I used to do bad excuses.
Yeah, he was giving a lot of excuses when
Mr. Excuse, yes, Mr. Excuse. So we elevated him to the principal position. Now he's in charge of the academy. Okay, let's see.
Bob.
Yes, sir.
next time we go skiing, we would like to invite you.
Sweet. I'm sort of looking forward to it. Thinking back on bad experiences of you causing fights during trips, but also potentially looking forward to it the more you work on managing your relationships successfully. The more you're able to get along with the other students at the academy, the more I'll look forward to the skiing trip. Put it that way. Okay, so let's see here. Did I cover this one? Have you read the EM guidelines? I think we covered this one. Is this start of... No, this is 1162. Okay, this is
This is the one on economics.
Economics. Okay, so let's go to economics. And I think this was started by somebody that wanted some investing tips. Somebody's giving out stock advice here.
Right, talking about buying gold and things like that, preventing the zombie apocalypse.
Boggles get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, should have figured. So far, I learned gold is a good investment, but it's expensive right now. Others, please chip in with your ideas, wisdom, and experience. Mr. Sir. Okay, so... I think I kind of remember this. We started getting into what's a good thing to invest into. So then we started talking about money. And I mentioned money is passive, an unstable evaluation. It's nice to have, but it's not like having breath. It's kind of there and it kind of isn't. If you want to invest in something, invest in a skill, invest in an ability, invest in something that can't be easily removed or damaged by consensus, or invest in the only meaningful resource around, people. Why did I say money is a passive, unstable evaluation, Jar?
Because money isn't, in the end, money isn't what's going to save you. Sure, you can have money, but if you don't know how to...
no.
Or if you can't get money by yourself, what I'm saying is...
Boggles.
Money is a passive entity because its value can be shifted around very easily based on how a society decides what its value will be, or what the value that they agreed to do.
Yes.
An agreement can be changed at any time based on a lot of conditions.
Yes, exactly. That dollar you have that says $1 is deceptive because it's not worth $1. It's worth exactly what the market decides, which means everybody in the world has to...
History,
What's that?
It started high, and if you look at history, it always goes down.
Yes.
It never goes up.
You could see that dollar is worth one chicken because everybody agrees that dollar is worth one chicken. But as soon as somebody stops agreeing that dollar is worth a chicken, and now they say it's going to take $2 of your dollars to purchase this chicken, guess what? Your dollar is no longer worth one chicken. That money is very passive and subject to a lot of different factors in the economy that influence its worth. So,
And
yes.
Are you saying on the flip side, your function is not open to it or agreement like...
Yes, when you're meeting needs, let's say you're meeting needs as a man, you can exercise authority. Is that ever going to go out of style? Is that ever that value going to fluctuate and go down?
No, I mean, I can mischaracterize, say, Jar is a functional guy, but the value is going to...
Why will the value always be stable with your functional skill? If you're of exercising authority, why will that always be stable?
Because it meets people's needs.
Yes. The only stable thing are what?
Needs.
Your needs. You're always going to be hungry. You're always going to be thirsty. You're always going to need oxygen. Women are always going to need authority. Your male authority. You're always going to require female submission. Necessity does not change. Necessity does not change. So if you know how to meet necessity, that is a valuable skill. That is a very valuable skill.
Necessity is a constant like gravity.
Yes, it's just like gravity. If your necessity changes, that means what, Zyger?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
If your necessities change, what does that mean?
It wasn't actually a necessity. It was an illusion of a necessity.
Yes. Okay. Let me ask.
Desire.
Yes. let me ask it another way. Let's say your actual necessity changes.
The principles are no longer in play.
Well, I think then I guess you could say that you evolved. Or
No.
something.
What happens when you no longer need food, Zyger?
Oh, you died.
Because you're dead.
You're dead. Yes. The only time your necessities are going to become unstable or not or change is when you're dead. Or like Zyger said, if you say, a lot of people say, I need a car. I need to get to work, so I need a car. Is that a necessity?
No.
Why not? He needs a car. He needs to get to work.
Take the bus.
He could take the bus. He could walk. He could fly. He could take ride a bicycle. There's many ways he can get to work. So just because you think you need something doesn't always mean you need it. So a lot of times we find this out the hard way. We think we need this, we need that, we need this, we find out it's just a want. It's a dysfunctional desire. It's not a functional desire.
Try having a car in New York City.
Prime example. Okay, so I think this whole thread is back and forth about, and to build off of what Plum is saying, it's wise to invest in blah, blah, blah. So Mr. Sir is giving out investment advice. Okay, so he says, invest in, he comes back with a counter argument, Zyger. He says, gold and silver. Indeed, what Plum is referring to is counterparty risk, where your value is subject to market conditions like the housing market, or if there's a contract, you've got to worry that you won't get fucked over from another party not holding up their part of the bargain. Gold and silver, mainly gold, have no counterparty risk because they don't rely on someone else's performance to perform. They're recognizable and redeemable throughout the world. True or false, Zyga?
Ultimately false.
Why?
It's easy to be misled in this way because it's been historically redeemed, but gold and silver are still kind of arbitrary. People need it for some things.
Yes.
It's not a real need. It's
Why do people say it's more stable than money? What's the illusion that it's more stable than money?
Historically, it's always been valued for a very long time.
Yeah, because it's used because gold can be used for a practical purpose, while money can't.
Right.
It's more stable historically.
Right. It's a little more solid, more substantial. It can stand
But you still
fire.
can't eat gold,
Also, you
so-
can use it for things. It has practical uses, everyday uses. But ultimately, again, it's subject to the evaluation. For instance, what would you give right now to have a bar of gold, Zyger? Would you give me, if I give you a solid bar of gold, would you give me $20?
Well, of course.
You say, of course, like it's granted. Like a bar of gold is always worth at least $20, right?
Right now.
Right now, that's my point. But let's say we're in the middle of the Gobi Desert in July. I don't know how hot it is. I'm assuming that's the hot time. We're in the middle of the desert, and I got a bar of gold, and you have a backpack full of food that's worth $10. And I say, Zyger, I'm gonna make you a deal. I happen to have 2 bars of gold. That's at least $20. That's at least $40. I'm gonna bargain with you, man. I'm gonna give you both of these bars just for that backpack full of food. You got extra left over, buddy. Are you taking it? Are you trading me?
Unless I can eat gold, no.
Why not?
Well, because food fills an actual need, while gold only fulfills maybe the vague potential for filling future needs.
Right.
But not right here, right now.
It doesn't fulfill a need ultimately. So ultimately it is worthless. And conditions dictate how much that gold is worth. Like I said, if we're in the desert, you can't eat the gold. It can't meet a need. So you trading that gold away is stupid. If I get your food, I eat your food, and you die of starvation because you just have 2 bars of gold, your needs aren't met, and you made a bad investment choice.
Right. You just pick up the gold in my corpse after that.
So a lot of people have this delusional view of money, have this delusional view of their wants, and don't understand that necessities drive everything. This is the same type of advice like I was given investing advice by my bank. A lot of people, when they sign up for, bank accounts, checking accounts, saving accounts, they always usher you over to a guy who wants to, get you into stocks, bonds, whatever, get you into the market. And I always have he always says, well, here's the lowest risk option and here's the high risk option and blah, blah, blah. And I always ask, well, what if there's a crash or what if there's, this can happen and this can happen? Because they always try to sell you like it's 100% lock. It's guaranteed. You buy this, you can buy these high risk things, but if you buy these low risk things, it's guaranteed. Mutual funds are always, solid. It's a guaranteed return. Don't worry about it. Can they say that every single time? No. But in their view, it might as well be 100%. They don't even it's not even on their radar to think.
And the truth is, even in those cases, it's bullshit. Because even if someone gives you a guaranteed 5% return, the inflation level is still like 10%, so you're still losing money every year. the only way the bank is making money is by lending money to a bunch of people, doing a bunch of rip-offs, getting handouts from the government.
Right, but
That's
look,
how they make money.
even in an investor's mind, let's say they have a job investing money daily. They have to invest in their own delusion to do that job. I would say passionately.
In their own little virtual world.
Yeah, but I am thinking maybe this whole system will last. The whole delusional system will last for a lifetime, and they will be okay.
Well, that's the gamble you take. It's just like saying...
Like feminism can continue next 80, 100 years, and all of them,
you know what? It can, and then it can't. Because didn't we say that about housing? Didn't we say that about the stock market? I mean, we say that about a lot of things. This is so stable. Look at the history, and then all of a sudden one day, all it takes is one day to turn it around. All it takes is one event. And then you lose all your stock, you lose all this, or this company goes out of business. I mean, look at after stock market crashed, the housing bubble burst. Look how many businesses all of a sudden just tanked. Like stable businesses. Look at banks. We thought it'd be around for long, just tanked. Right? If the government wasn't there, even more businesses would have gone out of, or even more businesses would have, been destroyed. So to think that just an institution is stable just because it's been around for X number of years is, again, it's an illusion. It's delusional thinking. And part of the problem is, when you're in a dysfunctional occupation, you have to buy into the delusion. It's just like if you're a stripper. You can't look at all strippers and see the common thread like they were all sexually abused or had bad family lives or these certain factors are affecting their job occupation choice. You just have to say, oh, stripping's just like working at McDonald's, or stripping's just like investing, or stripping's just like being an auto mechanic.
Empowerment, female empowerment.
Yeah, it's just another job, right? Well, if you're delusional, yes, it just is another job. You have to fool yourself into believing this thing in order to do it passionately or to invest yourself into it. So that's kind of what is going on here. This guy's been sold at some point in his life on investing. He might have even gotten returns. He might be doing well. He might be investing and, have a certain strategy. This is like me. I went to Vegas one time. I play roulette. Roulette's my favorite game. And I'm like, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my money on, I'm going to bet on, if you put your chip at the end, I think you can buy a row of numbers, like 6 numbers. I'm going to buy these numbers, these numbers, and these numbers. So I'll get I won't get a 35-to-1 return on my money, but I'll get enough to cover any losses. And I'm going to bet on like a couple numbers. So if I hit one of these numbers, I'm going to get 35-to-1 odds. So I'm going to get a big payday. So I'm trying to hit one of these numbers. And meanwhile, I'll cover a lot of numbers, a big span of numbers with a few chips, so that I'll cover any losses of me just betting on single numbers. So I'm trying the strategy out. First time at Vegas, trying it out. And it works. I make some cash. I'm like, fuck yeah, sweet. Look at this. I got this indestructible system. And now I've created my own delusion. But little do I know, the odds eventually catch up with me. And I lose, and pretty soon I'm at like $300, and I go, what the fuck happened? I was winning, the system seems like it's working, etc. So in the short term, things can happen. Things can go your way. It's very easy to be fooled in the short term. It's very easy to be fooled in the short term. Just like this guy was fooled. Principal Leotard was fooled by his girlfriend saying, oh, okay, no problem. I'm on board. You want to be in charge? Yeah, you're explaining to me how authority works? Okay, great, I'm on board. Little does he know, when another problem comes up, his flaw in his exercise of authority is going to be exposed. And then he's going to wonder, what happened? I thought I was doing it right. I thought everything was going smoothly. I thought it was smooth sailing. So easy to have the rug pulled out from under your feet. So, I am putting up warning labels everywhere. If I am trashing your idea, or if I'm removing your idea from the forum, it's not just because I hate you personally. It's because I'm more invested in the long-term future of the students. So while this may even be sound investing advice, this is not the investment academy. I don't want you to invest in something ultimately that can cost you, and you can come back and go, but Plum said it was okay to do this. Plum gave the green light to start investing. This is a good investing strategy. So I'm not commenting on whether this is a good investing strategy or not, or whether it's good to invest in gold or not. You're free to invest in whatever you want. I'm commenting on the overall perspective that this guy has regarding investing, or what you should invest in. He's telling you to invest in gold. I'm telling you that's foolish. Maybe right now, you can invest in gold and you'll get a great return. You can say, look, Plum, you're wrong. I got a great return. I'll say keep investing in gold. The house is going to catch up with you. Life is the ultimate house. Life is the ultimate Vegas.
I never thought of that.
It eventually catches up with you. Everybody likes to play lotto. Everybody likes to live on the delusion. They just think, what if it was me? You know what? These these commercials. You ever seen a lottery commercial? It plays
California Dream.
It plays on your wishful thinking. It plays on your laziness. It plays on your desire to have a convenient life. It's like, what if it's just you? Just one out of a million. It just happened. It was just me. And it shows that dream. What do we always talk about? We talk about the American dream.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the American work ethic. We talk about the American dream. You could go from rags to riches. If you just work hard, it's going to happen. You could be a TV star. You could be a movie star. You could break big. You could join American Idol.
There is an element of work hard in there, though, right? Like, if you work hard, you'll get the dream.
But what dream? It's riches. It's always riches. It's not. The American dream isn't work hard so you could make your housing payment or make your apartment payment enough to eat. Is that the American dream?
I thought riches were in the process of riches.
What's the American dream, Zyger? You're from Canada. What's the American dream?
The American dream is, like I said, if you work, everyone has a possibility to become rich and famous. Like, everyone starts out equal if you work hard enough.
You just work hard enough, eventually, boom. They consider that if everybody did the same amount of work, how is it? It's not possible. It's not physically possible for everybody to be rich. Who's going to clean the toilets? Who's going to take out the garbage? Who's going to build your houses? Who's going to build the roads? Every millionaire is going to get out there with a shovel?
But
right?
I'm thinking, say the Mexican guy from Mexico comes. For him, it's still the American dream. He has a small little shack, and that's his American dream.
All right, Boggles. Moving on.
I'll be right back.
All right. So I think that pretty much covers this post here. Let's move on.
Okay, so anyway, the point was you were just...
I got it down to one page. I got this podcasting topics down to one page. I want to finish this. Oh, fuck. We got 6 more minutes, then we got to switch over to Expression Post. Okay, we're going to go through this whole page in 6 minutes. Let's do it. Okay, Paperclip says...
Well, what would be a good American dream that they could say instead?
Okay, a good American dream...
It's just a dream. And it's not a dream, it's
don't
very
dream.
realistic.
How about don't dream? How about do what it takes? How about the American work
ethic?
Work ethic, yeah.
Okay.
How about hone your skill? How about practice? How about train? The American training ethic.
Training than on the dream. Okay.
The Manhood Academy.
Forget about the dream. Just meet your needs. How about that? Train to meet your necessities. How about that?
Okay. So work on the farm.
Paperclip wrote, I felt like a traitor of my cause when I pulled into the gas station and inserted my credit card into the machine. I felt like a traitor of my cause.
Right there, you want to kind of...
This paragraph is so terrible, let's cover some grammar basics. Okay. So I felt like a traitor of my cause when I pulled into the gas station and inserted my credit card into the machine. What did he mean to say, Jar, and how would you fix it?
I think he meant this. I don't know what he's trying to say with the traitor of my cause. I think he should just drop of my cause.
Yeah.
I feel like a traitor when I pulled to the gas station and took my credit card.
What cause?
He's trying to
What's he trying to say?
He's trying to say that he's a traitor due to his own actions.
To his cause or something. I don't know.
Well, let's read the whole paragraph. I felt like a traitor of my cause when I pulled into the gas station and inserted my credit card into the machine. The gas station posts the price of gas when buying a car wash on their main sign that illuminates the street. The sign of the actual price for gas without a car wash is the size of a midget and hidden next to the other one. Boo. I was fooled the first time I saw this happen. People are being ripped off out of their trust in the price shown on the main sign being without a car wash. The owner of the gas station went from a friendly human being to a small demon that runs around poking people with its rusty but sharp pitchfork. Oh, I was...
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
This is going to make my head explode if I try to correct this. I basically wanted to point out all the little grammar errors. I want to touch on how to fix them. Can we do this in 4 minutes?
Let me try to just say it properly.
Okay. I'll read the first. I'll read sentence and you read the correction sentence. Okay. I felt like a traitor of my cause when I pulled into the gas station and inserted my credit card into the machine.
When I pulled to the gas station and inserted my credit card into the machine, I felt betrayed.
Oh, traitor of my cause betrayed. Okay. This gas station posts the price of gas when buying a car wash on their main sign that illuminates the street.
When getting a car wash, you can see a sign on the street with the. Let me read.
It's going to be hard to translate.
The gas station posts a price on their sign, and just
post the price on their sign.
With the next one.
Good enough.
The gas station,
The sign of the actual price for gas without a car wash is the size of a midget and hidden next to the other one. Boo.
There's a midget-sized price of the car of the actual price of the fuel. beside the wrong price of the.
Can we make it clear? Jar, go ahead.
Okay,
How about the actual price for gas is midget sized?
Okay.
Or is the size
actual
of a
price
midget?
of gas is hidden.
Or you can specify there's the discounted price when you get a car wash, but the actual price without it is like tiny.
Okay. I was fooled the first time I saw this happen. People are being ripped off out of their trust in the price shown on the main sign being without a car wash.
Without getting a car wash.
People are being taken for a ride with this false price, or something along those lines.
People are being ripped off out of their trust in the price shown?
People are being ripped off because the price shown on the main sign.
What does he mean when they're saying they're being ripped off out of their trust in the price shown on the main sign?
Well, they believe that
Basically,
the
they're just
price
being
shown.
ripped off due to false advertising.
What does he mean to say when they're being ripped off out of their trust? What does that mean? What is he trying to say?
They trust that the price on the main sign is the one to go by.
Yeah.
When there's really other price that they could pay that's much.
What's another way to say being ripped off out of your trust? What's another way to say that?
being ripped off?
Their trust has been betrayed.
Yeah, your trust has been betrayed.
Because you're being ripped off by their false advertising.
Vocabulary word. Okay, the owner of the gas station went from being a friendly human being to a small demon that runs around poking people with its rusty but sharp pitchfork.
That's fine.
No.
No?
How do we know that the owner of the gas station went from there to there?
The owner from a gas station, and then it identifies, the subject it identifies is its, with its rusty pitchfork. He's talking about... Oh, no, that's right. Wait. Being a small demon that runs around poking people with its trusty pitchfork. The gas station went from being a friendly human being to a small demon that runs around. I guess that's right.
I would say, I imagine the owner of the gas station going from a friendly person to a small demon.
Yeah, because we don't know here. It could be that the owner of the gas station changed his attitude, or just that his perception of the owner changed. But I don't know.
Right, the owner of the gas station went from being a friendly human being to a small demon that runs around with its poking people with a rusty pitchfork.
That's his opinion.
All right, I'm just trying to word it, because he has a way of sometimes not arranging things like... some things that are on the end can be placed in the beginning. Oops, looks like we plussed out. Hold on, let's start a hangout. Oh, we lost the entire class. Oh, class. Google Plus has failed us. We'll bring it right back. Boom. Add people. Classroom. Boom. Start hangout. Hey, we're coming back. Hold on, folks. Reposting the class. Bam. Google, you cocksucker. You had to play us, didn't you? Alright, where's the address? Copy. Paste. Submit. Okay, let's go. Hold the phone. It's coming back. Boom. Okay. I repasted the class. Waiting for everybody to come back. Waiting for everybody to rejoin.
Hey, Blam, you got kicked out of your own.
What happened? It died on me.
Your connection crapped out.
Yeah, it died on me. It's ridiculous.
I told Zyger to start recording the podcast.
I have super fast connection. How could that happen with my super fast connection?
I don't know.
I have a super fast connection. It should not happen to me.
It's the work of the gremlins.
It should not happen to me.
You call up Verizon.
I feel betrayed.
Yes.
ISP is trolling
You feel betrayed for your cause.
I feel trolled by my high speed. All right, I reposted the link. Hopefully we'll get everybody back in. Okay, let's. We got 1 more minute. We can do one more. We can do one more. One last one.
More time.
Actually, we're gonna end in half an hour. Fuck it. We're gonna just keep going. We're going to expression posts.
Yeah, let's do expression.
Expression posts.
Jari.
Okay. I'm back.
All right, quick. Pick one. We'll go down the road. Zyger, pick one.
Let's see. How about concrete?
Concrete.
Concrete. Yeah,
Concrete. Let's do it. We're going to concrete. Boom.
Concrete's been pretty hardcore these days.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
The Asian man from Australia.
All right, how about this one right here? Go ahead. Read it, Tim.
I've been falling in and out of consciousness recently. I don't mean literally, but in a more symbolic way. I catch myself daydreaming about stuff that doesn't really add up to anything. You know? The kinds that can really make you nihilistic in a way. As a result, I feel like a piece of fogged up snow goggles. Everything's blurry in a sense. The things once meaningful to me don't give me any satisfaction at the moment. I'm simply operating on self-discipline and habit, especially with regards to my weight training and the other small menial tasks that used to give me a sense of accomplishment. My social interactions feel empty, and I feel worn out due to these thoughts I've been experiencing. Usually, I'm vibrant and energetic. I'm hoping just a feeling that will pass away with absolute certainty, like mouth ulcers. Oh, God.
Lovely imagery. Okay, Jar.
I've been struggling.
No, Jar. Comment.
Yeah, it was okay. He's talking about himself, and he's talking about things that I guess I don't really understand a lot of what he's going through. I guess I don't understand why he feels this way. I want to know more why and how, the cause.
Okay. Very vague. Very vague. Nothing specific. No specific degree of his person. For instance, what does he say here? I feel like a piece of fogged up snow goggles. Everything's blurry in the sense that things are once meaningful to me. Don't give me any satisfaction at the moment. I'm simply operating on self-discipline and habit. I mean, these are just vague general terms.
Like, I want to hear an example. Like, what do you mean? What's something meaningful to him that is all of a sudden not important to him?
Yes.
Like, hear why? What is it like? What does he see?
Exactly. So he has a habit of doing this. He always writes in these vague, general terms that, it can mean a lot of different things. He needs to rein it in. Zyger.
You want me to comment, or you want me to
I want you to comment.
Comment.
It's true. I think I like parts of the way because he's using a very rich language. So it makes it pleasant for me to read. Like, it's kind of a little roller coaster ride. But it's true that some parts are vague, and I would like more specific examples.
Boggles? He was gone. Oh, hold on, Boggles. I still have you on mute. I gotta unmute you. Boggles, you back? Wait a second. Why is it not unmuting? Do I go mute? Unmute?
I tried to mute him too, and it wouldn't mute him.
Mute audio for participant. It says he's back. Boggles, is your microphone on?
No.
He's talking.
Hello.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sweet. Boggles, what do you think? You were gone. Never mind.
I read part of it, and I think the reason I can kind of like what he writes because I kind of write like him, very vague, and I can relate to him. It's like we're both immigrants in a different country. But other than that, there's other parts where I don't know. Like, he's talking about weight training all of a sudden, and some meaning I can't connect with that part.
Okay, some of the words I lost because of Tim's affectation, the way he reads it. The words weren't articulated well, so I didn't understand some of the words he was saying while I was reading, so it's kind of distracting. Tim, I want you to make sure you get a chance to start reading some of these entries out loud and practice your articulation. Also, this last part here, he says, I'm hoping it's just a feeling that will pass away with absolute certainty, like mouth ulcers. Sometimes I notice Concrete has a habit of using graphic imagery or even disturbing imagery.
Yeah.
And when it's not that you are not allowed to use imagery like this, like a mouth ulcer, but you gotta remember, your audience is visualizing the words that you're using. So if you're saying raping babies or mouth ulcers or dirty diapers or any of these type of terms, people are gonna get this type of image in their head, and it's gonna turn them off. So I understand what you're trying to get at. It's you're trying to say something that's chronic. Like, even you could say like herpes or something. But whenever you use terms, it's chronic like AIDS, or it's chronic like a I don't know, like a long winter in Alaska.
I don't like
when
that
you're using terms that convey something that is disturbing, is generally disturbing, or is disgusting, if you're talking about bodily fluids or things like that, you're gonna turn people off. So again, you have to consider your audience, right, Blue? Right, Blue? Blue?
Blue.
Maybe you can't
He's
hear.
just watching. He's not listening.
Blue can't hear right now. Okay. Let's see.
Like,
You guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we can. Can you hear us?
For a moment there I couldn't, but now I can hear you.
Now you can hear us. Right, Blue? You don't like disturbing imagery, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
You don't like hearing the sentence, I'm hoping it's just a feeling that will pass away with absolute certainty like mouth ulcers.
No, I don't like that.
Why didn't you like that?
Well, because you think about mouth ulcers and it's very off-putting and
It's graphic, it's disturbing imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is off-putting, and he has a habit of doing this. So I was making a comment.
He'll talk about hemorrhoids and stuff.
Yeah, so yes, you can be explicit in your entry, but remember your audience. You have to be concerned for your audience's feelings and for what they're going through. This is why I don't allow, in another sense, it's not an image that you don't like, but naked women. You know, boobies. This is Manhood Academy. We don't have any boobies on here. Why not? Well, because I consider that people are doing the no fap challenge, and if they're looking at boobies, it's gonna make them want to fap. So you got to consider your audience. You got to consider how your words are going to affect them. What type of imagery do you want to think about? Mouth ulcers? Do you want to think about hemorrhoids? Do you want to think about these disturbing things? If the answer is no, then your audience probably doesn't want to think about them either. And if you do want to think about them, well, there's something wrong with you. Those images are disturbing. That means you're not socializing enough, because if you're saying those things in social company, people will sometimes let you know that, or they'll give you a disgusted look, or there'll be an ooh sound. Something will give you a social cue that this imagery is not imagery we want to think about. You know, everybody goes to the bathroom, but we don't talk about pissing and pooping and how the poop came out and the consistency of the poo. We don't think about that.
Some people talk about it. But
Some people do. But those are people who don't have many people to socialize with. Okay, Jar, keep going.
I've been struggling for meaning these days. I can't seem to find much meaning at all to this. Why am I here? What is all this? What is reality? And what's the fucking point if it all ends up to entropy? What's the point of achieving? What's the point of surviving? Seriously, you look at any human achievement and break it down, and you'll find that it's pretty trivial and nonsensical. Breaking the world record, curing malaria, writing a legendary book, discovering some new theory in quantum physics, it's all in vain. And most of the time, we do these things to impress other people and elicit their approval.
Zyga?
Is life simple? Oh.
Well,
Right.
regardless of whether I agree with him or not, he's bringing up some deep points.
Yes. Deep thinker.
Deep what?
Deep thinker.
Well, I like the fact that he's like really thinking deeply on these things and telling us what he's thinking about. For me, at least as a kind of philosophically thinking person, it makes me know more about how the person thinks. For someone who's not so inclined with these questions, it might be a turnoff.
Yes. Jar.
Well, I so happen to be inclined with these, and I want to answer him as my first reaction. So, yeah, of course, when I read it, I was strung and I wanted to listen to what he was saying, wanted to listen to what was going through his head, so he did fine there.
Yeah.
But now I want to answer him, okay, because any human being is going to find satisfaction when he or she completes or does something, or so-called moves things toward order.
Well, this sounds like a response you should be making, and not
you should
one here.
that.
You are
Well,
responding
it's
to
the
being
first time I read it.
you're responding to being stimulated by his post.
Right.
Okay, Boggles.
I I can see how he's thinking, and it makes me think about that too. But stuff like this kind of depresses me because it makes me think, what's the point of the academy? What's the point of everything? We're all fucked in the end anyway. So yeah, we'll be satisfied for a few years, and everybody will be dead one day. So those are the thoughts that I get.
So it's very thought provoking. It makes you go to the places you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Tim
But
Will?
I like to see how he's thinking. I can definitely connect and relate to what he's thinking.
Yes, I think we all can at some point in our lives. Tim Will.
I like that he's actually organizing it now, and I kind of agree with the rest of them. It is pretty philosophical, which I'm not really about.
Okay.
But it is thought provoking to someone who's into that.
Yes. Blue?
I think he's thinking deeply, and these are questions that we're all going to come across in our lives. And for me, I feel like he's trying to answer these questions for himself. So, because a lot of our opinions change over time as we get older. So, like for me, I feel like he's giving us a little moment in history of what he's thinking at this moment.
Yes.
So he might think something differently in the future, but right now I can tell he's thinking a lot about these things, and sometimes to progress, that's what we have to do. So I'm glad he wrote it.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty profound post. I just wish it was more specific, but again, this is the general questions that a lot of people think about.
That seems to be always the case. How do we get more specific? What is some general
Well,
ways?
maybe we'll read some posts that actually do it correctly. Let's check and see.
That's a good
All right.
It's basically...
Jar, pick one.
Well,
scroll down. Oh.
You said someone who does it right.
Jar.
I want to do mind bogglers.
Oh, you want to do Bogler. Where's Bogler? I don't see Bogler on here.
It's near the top.
Oh, there he is.
Convey me via my personal reactions.
Yeah.
I want to do bogglers.
Bogler.
The last post, I kind of almost said it to you guys. But
Let's see here. How about this one? I'm back from exile. You want to read that one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Is this the one?
Let's do it.
I'm back from exile as well as a mini vacation. I love that I finally went out on a holiday with one of the bros from this forum. I was with A-Team and his brother. I started speaking to A-Team and then his brother on Skype, and when we clicked, initially, I did lead a lot of the conversations with them and it helped. They invited me to go skiing with them and I made the effort to go, and it was worth it. I got to learn to get along with other people, make new friends, maybe future Manhood Academy students. The getaway was something I needed. It helped me clear my head. I was up in the mountains where the sky was clear. It felt calm, peaceful. I noticed when I take a break from my usual routine to do something different, like that, I come back with a better perspective. I enjoyed the refreshing change. It didn't have any bashing from the Manhood Academy. I was in a new environment, and it was left to me as to how I wanted to shape that. The entire time I was there, time flew by so quickly. I was in a whole new place with new people. Just that experience alone excited my mind and helped clear it up. It made me realize how essential it is for a bunch of friends to go out and do something together as bros. It helps you come back to your daily life stronger with a refreshed mindset.
Blue.
It was a good post, and I wasn't blown away by this post. Like,
It's kind of generic. It sounded like a TV commercial.
Yeah, I had the realization that, hanging out with people.
You should hang out with people. It's a good idea versus not hang out with them.
Right. I mean, that should be.
You should not punch yourself in the face versus punch yourself in the face.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm glad he had the experience.
Okay.
And I'm glad he wrote it, but it wasn't a very attractive post.
Zyg?
I enjoyed hearing it because I have a relationship with Boggles, and I'm interested in knowing what's happening to him.
Yes.
But, and I also can relate to some parts of it, like how he's got a new environment, and then it was left to him how he wanted to shape it. I can kind of relate because when you go to a new place, you're telling yourself, people don't know me, so I can shape a whole new image of me. That's how I thought also, maybe not now, but in the past. So, I can connect with him.
Okay.
I think specific hook to me.
Okay. I think two things. My relationship with Boggles is what interests me in reading his posts. And number two, he did a good job of conveying this experience in a simple way. I didn't have any bashing from Manhood Academy, so he's not getting beat up. The entire time there, time flew by quickly, blah, blah, blah. Not too many exciting things, but he says something here. It made me realize how essential it is for a bunch of friends to go out and do something as bros together. So these kind of little realizations are kind of like I vicariously live through Bogler when he goes through these things. So it's kind of interesting to me, just based on the relationship. So if that relationship wasn't there, I might not care as much about this, but because that is there, this becomes a little more interesting. Not as itself. As it stands, I don't think it's that powerful. I don't think it's that exciting. Did we ask Jar? Jar?
No, we didn't ask Jar.
Jar. Let's
I
ask Jar.
thought, more or less everybody covered it. Again, it wasn't super powerful or anything. But again, I do want to hear a bit about Boggles, because we do have that, minimum bond that I guess you have.
There's a minimum bond with you, right?
Yeah, the minimum bond.
Simwa?
The minimum level.
It wasn't. It wasn't the best post. There were a couple of things parts that I liked, like how he described parts of the getaway and stuff. We do have kind of a minimum relationship.
You got a minimum relationship with Boggles? You know his name? How well do you know Boggles?
And he knows that I made a demand of him. I told him to get a webcam.
So that's your extent of knowing Boggles? Is Boggles made a demand on you? So in other words, it's another horrible Indian relationship. Is that how you characterize your relationship with Boggles?
I do like that he laughs so much. Anyways, go on.
If I was Indian.
So is that how you would characterize your relationship with Boggles?
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not good. If it's not good here, it's bad. That's our motto at Manhood Academy. If it's not good, it sucks. Is your relationship with Boggles good?
answer is
But
no.
if I could have one comment, like your introduction, your first sentence is, I'm back from my exile, as well as a mini vacation. But usually you want your first sentence, or the first two sentences to be like the most powerful and gripping. If you would have just said, I'm back from my exile, it would have hit like harder, because then you're like mysterious, what's happening?
I want
By
to...
stretching it out, you're like explaining it more rationally, but I think the first sentence should like be more of a hook. You have almost had it with your exile, because it's like an image, but then you're like kind of ruined it with mini vacation, so it's like, oh, okay.
I think I like to put together all the different ideas and, have it out there.
How is everybody's relationship with Boggles? Does anybody have a good relationship with Boggles?
No.
I don't know.
No? So they all suck. Okay, Boggles, so you got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
All right. I was feeling quite good, blah, 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 blah. Looks like a lot of explain-a-thon going on. Not interested. All right, let's go. Who's next? Pick one, Boggles.
Okay. Well, since Jar picked mine, I'll pick his.
Okay.
Actually, there were some good parts in the second paragraph.
There were?
Yeah, towards the end of the second paragraph.
Well, we're... I could get burned by you, Boggles. I could go back.
Well, I'll explain it. Basically, it's a bunch of us guys. We're forming formations on the snow and going down the snow as hexagons and circles. So it's pretty cool doing that. And,
Okay.
experience.
Well, it sounds like he had to be there. I don't think I'd be that excited reading it unless you painted a vivid picture of
Okay.
it. Okay, where's Jar? Is he on the
I
second
think
page?
he stopped writing and he's gone to the second page.
I've stopped writing. I haven't posted since the last one that I've said.
Okay, so let's volunteer high school 101. There we
Okay,
go.
I just want to say one thing, though.
Well, let's go DBP then.
You want to say one thing? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say one thing.
Go
Right
ahead.
now, it's like I'd rather play video games than post on the forum.
Oh, you'd
I
rather
hear
play
you.
video games
I
than
hear
post on
you.
the forum.
I
Sweet.
just,
Yeah, we all have trouble getting motivated to write, but we got it.
Everybody's having trouble even facing each other on the forum. It's such a terrible experience here. So how can we improve the experience at the forum?
well, somebody has to...
Initiate.
Somebody's got to initiate. Somebody's got to have some authority around here to initiate.
Like,
Looks like Plum's got to go back to his training and just keep doing things regardless of what the students are doing or not doing. Eventually, one day, Jar, you will do that. Eventually, one day, it'll be like, I'm just going to do something. Fuck what everybody else is doing. I'm just going to do it.
fuck everybody else, man.
I just had a genius idea.
Uh-oh.
How about you install some flash games in the expression section so people want to play and then they'll...
So you have to be on here? So I waste server resources entertaining you? Yeah.
How about you give us candy when we finish it?
Yeah. How about I just give you $1? I just motivate you by giving you back all your money every month for turning in all your posts. So just give me $10.
I think we all will work well on bribery.
Yeah. You guys want bribery. How about I just shut the forum down, delete everything, just let you guys fend for yourselves in the ebook. How about that? We'll see how much that motivates anybody.
I don't know, I guess you could punish our...
Manhood Academy, that was a nice passing thought. It's a nice place to
We
hang
thought
out.
about that.
Me and Jar were talking about it. Actually, Jar...
Yeah, we talked about, what if you shut down the forum? What would we do? We kind of have it mapped out in case.
Yeah, what's a zombie scenario? Manhood Academy shuts down.
Well, we just keep reading the ebook and eventually give it to Entropy.
Entropy, okay. That's what I think would happen too. I totally agree. I think people would go, yeah, Plum was a cool dude. It was cool to hang out. We had some good times. Okay, back to our thing.
It was like a dream, a manhood dream that we once had.
It was a nice shared dream.
Future world.
Nice shared
I'd like to say
experience.
that I think mine's slightly different. I think that I don't quite expect to do an entropy, but that we'd put the effort to try to keep it going. We'd reopen just a different place to chat and talk and try to keep the guys together and keep building relationships and trying to get better at them with each other.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Zyger, how do you imagine the Academy imploding?
Well, if the academy implodes, I guess I'll have to become my own Professor Plum.
He'll take over. He'll start his own little thing, right?
Yeah, I guess I won't have a choice.
I was saying that too,
Even
but I
though
can't do that yet.
Well, I'm not competent to do it, but I'm guessing I'm going to learn as I do it.
You're going to
So-
learn by experience. I like Zyger's attitude. He says, I have no choice, meaning he's going to do it. What about...
I already have a student lined up.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
Because my mother, she's got
She's joining?
a student who's really remedial. He's not ready for Manhood Academy. But I told her I would coach him. But he wants to do public speaking and talking in public.
Pretty
so
sweet.
I'll go with that.
Hold on, total silence. Hold on. Total silence. Oh, we're getting some repeat. Oh, we're getting some feedback. Who doesn't have headphones in?
DVP.
DVP. Plug it in.
Try talking now.
Hello.
DVP. How do you picture Manhood Academy imploding or exploding? Other than by terrorist attack.
What, you mean how we deal with it?
What's your doomsday scenario for Manhood Academy? The Academy just goes away tomorrow, you click on the form, it's just gone.
Well, I keep on doing what I would do on the forum. I would try to make my own little EM reports.
Like my own instruction posts and EM reports. That's what I would try to do.
Do you feel like you have enough understanding to start managing your relationships just by trial and error?
Huh?
Do you feel like you have enough understanding, like working on EM reports, and you have talked to us enough, to me, to the other students enough, that you could manage your own relationships just by trial and error at this point?
Through trial and error, yeah.
Okay. How do you imagine
It would just take a longer time.
Just take a little longer.
It's just like the problem I have is I don't try.
Gotcha. Tim Will.
Yeah.
What's your zombie? Yeah. What's your zombie apocalypse scenario for Manhood Academy?
I want to say that I'm probably be fucked.
Yeah.
But I'm probably be at the crossroads.
Yeah.
It's either get with it or just be fucked.
Or become a feminist.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Honestly, every guy here is going to look for a way to deal with their dissatisfaction.
We're all going to be trying.
Yeah, everybody's
Some of you are going to turn to life of crime. Some of you will turn to drugs. Some of you will just go back to video games.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Other guys turn to all these things like PUA things, but we have the knowledge now. At least we have the ebook.
Right.
So I mean, we'll turn to that instead of just like turning to drugs or turning to whatever the fuck.
No, Blue. What's Blue going to turn to? Blue's going to turn to NyQuil.
We'll contact each other. We'll try to start like some mini site. But the way I see things, even with having you around, we still have so many problems. That is why I'm so pessimistic about the future, even though we will try.
Sweet.
Optimism.
Blue.
Optimism boggles.
Blue, how's your doomsday scenario?
Well, I think I'm going to split up the ebook into little sections and verse numbers. So when I have a problem, I say, what would Plum do? And I say, Manhood.
WWPD on his bracelet.
Section Manhood.
Oh, fuck.
Hold on, I got to hear from Blue. Blue, what's your doomsday scenario for Manhood Academy?
He's thinking.
Well, first I'd be very disappointed.
Okay.
It should go down to that.
After that week of disappointment's over, then what?
Well,
Or that
I mean,
A month, a year of disappointment.
I've learned enough to know that everything else that I've tried is not satisfactory, and so I would definitely be improving myself. As far as the relationships that I've already formed, I think I've known enough about these guys that I'd want to continue that.
Right.
I don't know personally, I personally wouldn't have the motivation to create my own Manhood website or anything like that. But if somebody else wanted to do that, I would definitely.
You would just jump on it.
You'll be in Boggler's Academy.
Boggler Academy.
No plum rule, and it'll go to entropy pretty quickly.
Right.
Sweet.
So I've given my support and any input that I could give.
Well,
But I mean, personally, I think I've learned enough to keep training.
I'm going to see if I can visualize. I can share with you the new chat room and share with you what I feel the fate of Boggler Academy is going to be like. Let me see if I can even get to the chat room.
Is Boggler going to be there?
Well, let's see. Hold on. I got to stop sharing this one. Share this one. And
I love that new chat room, by the way. I
yeah,
love
let's see if I can get there.
You
Share
can do
screen.
Anything chat about black guy.
Okay, everybody see the new chat room screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what?
It
Actually has colors this time.
Chat.
Pictures.
Let's see. This is my vision of Chaiwala Academy. Well, this is Boggler's vision. Let me see. Indian.
This is definitely close to my vision of a chat room.
That's your vision of the academy.
I was thinking of doing that.
I think it's going to be more like this, though. What is it? Chaiwala? I think that's more along the lines of Boggler Academy.
What is Blue gonna do?
Wait, let me see if I got chat bot. We got a bot now. Which basically we got a chat bot that has it's kind of like a whatchamacallit. It's like a little program where you can type little commands just to activate it. So, for instance, if you're typing, you want somebody asks a question about feminism, you can type chatbot feminism, and we can always add commands to it, and it'll type up like an explanation of feminism. Or let's say we got a new student, we can go chatbot new student, and then it'll pop up, directions for new students or any frequently asked questions. I can always add them to chatbot, and then we can, have
or you can do
answers.
chatbot Boggler.
Or let's say we get a black guy joining the academy, we go chatbot black guy. Oops. Nope. Chatbot black guy. I think chatbot's into black guys. Hold on. Nope.
Yeah, you're not typing anything.
Yeah, you're not typing. It's not
wait a
refreshing,
second.
I think.
Yeah, I don't see like the little slash sign, but it's like beeping in and out when you're trying to type something. I don't see that in the
Chatbot black guy.
There you go.
It worked. Chatbot went to sleep for a while. So we have all kinds of little
It is amazing.
little
I love
tricks.
the new chatting.
You can
and also
you
we
can
do a lot of
giggle.
scripts, automatic scripts.
So it's got a couple little features. We want to eventually add little avatars to our name.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that yet, but we got them on the right hand side, and it's got bold face type. You can italicize. You could use the little smiley things down at the bottom. It's got the user list. You can click on the users, and it'll either expand or contract the users. You could work on your settings. It's got a setting list. You got the sound effects on there, etc.
This shit's fancy, dude. Look at this. Enable hyperlinks. Enable line breaks.
So it's got a bunch of little things in there.
Enable hyperspeed.
Hyperspace.
This is our chat room. All right, let's do one last expression post. We'll call it a day. Let's see here. Let me go share screen.
Oh, I want to read. I haven't read yet.
Okay, which one should we do? Oh, we're going to do high schools. So we're going to end on high schools, okay? Screen.
One paragraph.
Let's see here.
Let's try something next. His last one was actually pretty good. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Should we go to... I don't know if I want to read about this...
Cheeseburger.
Oh, who's on? Wait. I want to read about the cheeseburger?
No, his latest one is good. The one where he's on... Yeah.
Okay.
It's very bottom.
We'll skip the cheeseburger. We'll go down to the bottom.
Wow,
One by one? All right.
Yes, that's it.
Hit it, Zygs.
Alright, hold on until the text gets clear. Alright. One by one, I've been getting rid of my bad habits. It's a tough path to stay on. I've fallen off the wagon quite a few times.
Fallen off the fat wagon quite a few times.
Infinite times.
But I can see myself making a little progress. One example was my caffeine habit. A month ago, I resolved to stop drinking caffeine to keep myself awake. So far, I've been doing pretty well. I don't get the crash that I used to get before.
Time out. I'd like to say excellent reading. You've really entered into the thought here, or at least you've made me think you're a high school 101, and I'm really interested. I've been awake so far when you've been reading. Unlike some of the other students who have read at various times and have put me to sleep, I'm actually awake here because you are inflecting your voice to enhance the different thoughts and the difference in thoughts, the importance of one thought versus the insignificance of another thought. Your voice is inflecting according to how you're seeing this paragraph, or how you're seeing, I should say, how you're seeing the thoughts and feelings of high school 101, and that's really coming through. Keep going.
Thank you. I don't get the crash that I used to get before. I nearly broke when school started. I had to wake up at 8 a.m. for class. I was about to make myself a cup, but then I decided I'd rather suffer through the misery of not sleeping well than cover it up with caffeine. When I drink coffee, I get mood swings. At first, I feel endowed with almost superhuman-like energy, ready to blaze through any math problem or homework essay. But when I come down from the crash a few hours later, it's not pretty. Every little thing in the world irritates me. I want to go to bed, crawl under my blanket, and block out all humanity until I feel better. The more caffeine I drink, the worse the mood swings are. Drinking caffeine is like taking out an energy loan from my body's energy account. After I use up all my energy, it comes time to pay back the loan, and I pay it back with interest. Not only do I have any energy for later, I'm more tired than I was before. It comes my childish... Okay, grammar.
Comes back to my childish desire.
Yeah, it comes down to my childish desire for instant gratification, no matter what the cost. I want to sleep as late as I want, but I want the energy now, and wherever I want it. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too.
Jar.
Yeah, it was a good post. Congrats to Zaga. That was a good reading. And, the combination of the two brought me in. This scenario, it's not like he's directly just expressing himself or his thoughts. Like, he needs to give some description of what's happening. But the way that he describes how things about the crash, how he's describing what the crash is to him, how he drinks more and more, the crash becomes harder and harder.
Right.
And how he wants to withdraw from the world. I like that part. That part interested me. I was drawn in by that.
Okay. Boggles.
Initially I was bored because High School 101 spits out a lot of facts. I resolved to stop talking. I had to get up at 8 a.m. So that part I get mood swings. I was bored, but then slowly when he said, how it affected him, like the superhuman thing, like how the crash, like I got a little interested then. Then when he talked about his childish desire for instant gratification, I was able to relate that, like how we want things now.
Right.
But sometimes I was getting confused with High School 101. I'm like, because he conveys a lot of information, like sometimes I'm like, oh wait, that was a reaction. Like I get confused between his
reaction, his personal reaction, and just conveying information.
Yeah, because he does a lot of conveying information, and then there's a reaction in somewhere, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Got it. Okay. So he takes a little while to get to himself. He's busy explaining things, and then eventually gets to him. Okay, Tim Will?
I actually liked the way Zyger was actually the way he was, reading it. He really got me. He really got me into it, and I was actually in it, just thinking like, okay, superhuman-like energy, just feeling like I had a lot of energy, and then crashing down. I totally got into it.
Okay, so you were actually in it this time versus the other times when you were faking it.
Oh God.
Okay, Blue.
Well, I couldn't follow along because the screen was blurry and I couldn't read it off your screen. But Zyger's voice kind of reminded me of like kindergarten where the teacher's reading and everybody's sitting in a circle.
Right.
And,
I like that description.
It's kind of like speaking in parentese, and like his voice inflection.
It's like super storyteller voice. It's like
inflection that was the actual story.
hokey super storyteller voice.
Right.
Over the top Muppeteer voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? DVP.
The sentence that really got me, that really that I liked the most was, I want to go to bed, crawl under my blanket, and block out all humanity until I feel better. Because I felt that way sometimes too. I think a lot of people do, like after they've just failed at something and...
So you're relating to the experience.
To the experience, yes. And I've never really drank coffee or had a lot of sugar before. So, but even so, I was still able to relate to this because I can kind of imagine what it would be like to be addicted to coffee and have that rush and then to crash. So this was a good post.
Well, I don't know who recommended this post, but I think it was built up in my head. There was a lot of hype, and I was expecting a more exciting or more meaningful post, and I was bored out of my mind. It was just coffee. I guess he did relate his personal experience. I just wasn't interested in it.
I wasn't interested in the coffee either, but it's just as an expression post, and the form was good. Is what I'm trying to say. The form was.
I don't know if it was good enough because I don't think the
form.
form was that great because I wasn't ultimately interested in reading it.
Me neither.
I think it's. I don't think
a
it's.
good example.
Yeah, I think the it's not I'm not saying it's a terrible expression post. I'm saying it's adequate. It's just not something that is a great expression post to me.
Well, we were talking earlier about going into detail. I think this is a good example of going to detail.
Yes, this is a good example of going into detail.
He's giving examples. He's explaining many different times in many different ways what he's thinking.
I think if he had more reactions in there, it would,
It might grab me a little more. Yeah, because he's basically explaining the effect of caffeine, and I kind of already know that. So when he goes on and on about it, I just get turned off by it. So maybe that's fine for people that don't have any experience with caffeine. That's great for them. It's just that I already have experience with caffeine, so it's kind of like I'm waiting for him to get to the point, and the point isn't so dramatic to me anyway. So it just wasn't that strong for me.
One thing I don't like about high school's posts is that he has these paragraphs that are like the size of bricks. Like when I go to see his expression posts to see what, just to check what he's been doing, I see like these gigantic paragraphs, and he never splits up his work. He just leaves it all there, like one huge paragraph.
that's why I don't feel like reading them.
He should
it's there's no organization. It's like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So he needs more paragraph breaks to break up different thoughts, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Wow.
And also, I would say I think I might enjoy his EM reports more than his expression posts because there's a lot of his human experience. It's almost like his EM reports are his expression posts.
Yes.
And like we say, they should eventually cross over because they're really the same thing. Your expression is just used to express your expectations. But his realizations and what's going on in his head, those are all very compelling for an expression post.
Right. Well, that's something I wanted to comment on. When he writes high school, he has great expression when it comes to his understanding of the principles, his realizations. But what he doesn't get enough practice on is his normal everyday experience. So this is a good example of him writing about his normal everyday experience. But we can see that he needs more practice. So my advice to high school would be not to write so much about the principles, but just the everyday stuff.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Tom, I have a question. Like,
yes.
When I see people write, I want to go to bed, crawl under my blanket, and blank out all humanity until I feel better.
Right.
I just get very suspicious because I'm like, people don't do that. Like, I have a more suspicious thing when I see people write something like
So you think it's like over the top, kind of like a theatrical device or being overly dramatic.
Like when people go crazy, then I'll hear something like that. I'm very
But why does that bother you? I don't mind theatrical devices.
Because I'm like, why? Because it's not.
He's like saying you're watching a musical where people are over-inflecting and saying the hills are alive with the sound of music.
Yeah,
so instead of appreciating it as like a some kind of artistic expression. You're just turned off by the fact that it doesn't like super match your reality or your everyday experience.
Yeah.
You'd rather it more closely match that versus be an artistic expression.
More candid than say. Then if he really went under his blanket, then that's another thing. But if he didn't and he's just writing it, then it's like, why are you writing something?
Right.
Well, what about the using similes and metaphors and analogies that aren't your real experience? For instance, if you say you're hungry, like you're so hungry you could eat a horse.
Yeah, that is clearly he's using that for effect. But this one says crawl under my blanket. I think, oh wait, I don't think he really does this.
So you think so you think he's painting a dishonest picture?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not really too concerned about whether the picture is honest or dishonest. I just want to be compelled by the picture.
So he doesn't care about being lied to. He just wants it to be an interesting lie.
Not lied to. Not lied to. Like if someone's giving me information that could help or hurt me, I would want them to be honest with me. But when it comes to their expression and how they're using different elements of imagination and writing to make it more attractive, I think it should be fair game.
So in other words, if somebody's going to lie to you, you want it to be a compelling lie.
Well, if they're going to lie to me, I'd rather it be a compelling lie, yeah.
No,
So you disagreed to what you disagreed with 2 minutes ago.
I would say the opposite. If I want to be entertained, I'm not too concerned about facts.
I don't think it's lying. I don't think it's lying.
What?
If someone like
semi-truthing.
Like, are we talking about the underneath the blanket thing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You can use that.
He's talking about the underneath the blanket example. We'll use that for example.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that was like a metaphor or I don't know, but
A metaphor for life. He wants to put his life under the blanket.
But whether he went underneath his blanket or not, I mean,
Is that a metaphor for being in the closet? No, High School 101. We're not accusing you of being gay. Sorry, we went too far. Okay,
but,
thank you.
Like, I think it's fine. I mean, whether he went underneath the blanket or not, it's not gonna hurt.
Thank you for this powerful discussion. I wish we had it in the middle of class and not at the end of class. I like when you guys participate, but I'd rather it be during class versus at the very tail end of class.
That's when we get warmed up.
Yes, you need to get warmed up at the beginning, though. You need to come in warm. So the point is, don't be warm. Just be competent. When you're competent, you will spontaneously express what is needed to be expressed versus feeling like you need a warm-up session, like socializing as a warm-up. I need to talk to 2 or 3 fake people or non-people before I start talking to real people. That is a silly attitude to bring to social interaction. So thank you guys for joining us. It's been another enjoyable class. We'll see you next time.